the sophomore from Brush. Trying to find him on my bracket. A 39-6 sophomore takes on Jacob Ornelius from Fort Lupton, a sophomore with a 32-12 record, and I believe Carwin beat him last week at the regionals. Also, I missed the 285-pounders in 2A. Reed Christensen from Akron, a 30-7 senior, will be taking on.
Is this an Akron wrestler down here on mat 2?
Probably. That's probably Watson.
Okay, Watson is wrestling against Harris from Norwood, it looks like. We got Baptista on mat 3 as well, so we got 2 area wrestlers going on right now. Watson is in the first period in neutral. They both have the same color singlets on, so it's right now they're just hand fighting, working in the center of the ring.
Akron has the dyed blonde hair, I believe.
Okay. No, that's the other. That's got an N on it. That's it.
From Norwood?
Yep. So the Akron wrestler, Watson, looks a little smaller than a Norwood wrestler. Is that?
Tanner Watson taking on Talon Harris, a sophomore from Norwood. Marcelino Baptista, 33-8 sophomore for the Merino Rams, taking on Tristan Poloni, a 33-5 sophomore from Meeker. No score in that match as we go into the second period.
Right now, Watson's working hard and doing most of the aggression out there. The Norwood wrestler's backing up, and then he just hits a throw by and comes around behind Watson and takes Watson down. Scores 2-0. The Norwood wrestler over Watson from Akron with 1:30 left in the second period. Norwood wrestler's working an arm bar right now. Watson gets up, and then the Norwood wrestler works at one-on-one, brings that wrist up behind his back. But Watson squirms out of that one, and he works up again working to a base. Gets his hips up, but the Norwood wrestler keeps his front end down, so they're working right on the edge, and they get blown out of bounds.
Colby Duncan just underway, taking on Andrew Clark, a sophomore from Bennett. He's in on a takedown, spins around behind, picks up the first 2 points of the match, so Colby Duncan wins.
Our Merino wrestlers
picks up the first takedown.
Our Merino wrestlers winning 1-0 and just takes a shot. They're in neutral. That you say that's Baptista?
Baptista, Marcelino Baptista, and he leads 1-0 on an escape.
In the Watson match, the Norwood wrestler just got hit for stalling on top, so that stops the match, and then now we have some blood time out there as well. Colby Duncan's got the Bennett wrestler in a tilt on the edge of the mat. He's winning his at the end of the first period 2-0. Colby Duncan, a freshman out of Sterling.
Marcelino Baptista still leads 1-0. Wrestlers on their feet as they go out of bounds. Channing Lewis from Eaton is up 6-1 over Patrick Esparza from Centauri.
Colby Duncan and the Bennett wrestler started in neutral. There's 1:40 left in the second period. Right now they're just working. Colby hits a fireman's carry. Hasn't got him dumped over yet, but he's underneath pretty good. He's got that. He's coming around. He's got the Bennett wrestler on his hip. Colby Duncan's working hard. He's coming up. He's got his arm around the head now from that underhook or the dump, and now he's got scored another 2-point takedown. Scores 4-0, Colby Duncan. Our Watson match from Akron is still 2-0, and the Norwood wrestler just pushes him out of bounds. That one there, I don't understand how they allow that, but Watson did a quick stand-up, and the Norwood wrestler just bowled him right off the mat. Watson stands up again, and then Norwood wrestler pulls him back, does a heel trip, and brings him back to the mat. over on mat 3 with our Baptista. He's on top right now. His score is 1-0 in the third period. Baptista is in the lead.
Mackie Sandoval making his way to mat number 9. So we have 4 area wrestlers: Marcelino Baptista, Watson from Akron, Colby Duncan from Sterling, Mackie Sandoval from Brush, and that's the way it goes. It's feast or famine around here.
Right now, Holy Family has 2 wrestlers out on the mat: Casados at 113 and one of the Prado brothers at 120.
Mackie Sandoval taking on Julian Prieto. Holy Family wrestler that defeated Mackie last weekend at regionals.
That Norwood wrestler is quite aggressive. He's just getting a talking to. That literally looked like a punch. It wasn't. He didn't call it, but he talked to him about it. Mackie looks like he's in a position to get a takedown on Prado. He does. Minute 30 seconds left in the first period, and Prado gets an escape, so the score's 2-1 with Mackie winning right now. Prado takes a wild shot. Mackie sprawls out of the way. Mackie's circling, doing a little hand fighting right now. Prado takes another long shot. Mackie sprawls out, and he's got the front headlock locked up. Right now there's 15 seconds left in the first period with Mackie in the lead. Again, Prado's wrestled Mackie a couple times, and they ran into, I don't know if it was this Prado or his twin brother, that Mackie ran into him in the medal round last year. Okay, Mackie did get shot on in deep single, but time ran out, so the score's 2-1 with Prado losing. Mackie in the lead.
Marcelino Baptista and Tristan Poloni tied up at 1 here in the third period. 17 seconds left. Baptista in on a shot, but a whizzer by Tristan Poloni, and they're just tied up at the edge of the mat. That looks like it's probably going to go to overtime. 3 seconds left as they go out of bounds. Tanner Watson still losing his match, 2-0 now in the third period to Talon Harris of Norwood.
Mackie Sandoval gets taken down on the edge of the mat. That makes it Prado 3, Mackie 2. This is where Mackie has to work because Prado has that long arms, and he goes to that one-on-one half and just rolls everybody, not just Mackie. Mackie stands up with his arms free, gets up, and then he gets taken back to the mat. Mackie stands up again. He's working hard and moving better than he has in the past. Right now they're working on the edge of the mat again. Mackie does a stand-up again. They go out of bounds.
Arashino from Marino now on the mat. So we have 1, 2, 3. Missed Colby.
Colby Duncan's leading 5-3 down here with 16 seconds left in the third period.
5 area wrestlers on the mat: Tanner Watson, Mackie Sandoval, Marcelina Baptista, Arashino, and Colby Duncan. So we'll try to do as well as we can. Marcelino Baptista in overtime in his match, and they'll go out of bounds.
Mackie's is broken down, and Prado's going for that armbar half, or that one-on-one half. Mackie's got his elbows in pretty tight with a minute left in the second period. Score is 3-2. Mackie's losing. Oh, Prado just hits a hard crossface and tries to work him over in a crossface cradle type move.
Both of those brothers have that move perfected.
Now he's up in front real high. Mackie's got his leg. Prado's coming around. Looks like he might have the cradle locked up now, a crossface cradle. He does, but Mackie's looks like he's broke the hold and he's squirming out the side. Well, I can't tell if he's got it broke or not. Prado's not able to, yep, he's got it broken. Prado comes back up to work on that one-on-one. Colby Duncan did win his match out there, so he'll be moving into the third and fourth place round.
Tanner Watson loses his match 5-0, so he'll move into the fifth and sixth place match. Marcelino Baptista still in overtime. 1-1 the score in the second overtime over there with 15 seconds left in that second overtime. They will go to a third overtime.
Mackie Sandoval's match, it's 3-2 with Mackie losing. The Prado Holy Family wrestler Prado takes down. They just hit Mackie for stalling, for walking back to the center. For not walking back to the center, I guess. He was walking back instead of hustling back. Prado was waiting for him, so that's a little psychological game that our wrestlers need to be aware of, and any wrestler get back to the center.
Boy, they must have had a meeting last night. That stalling is out of control this morning.
I mean, Mackey was walking back too. He just wasn't running. Pareto hits a quick sit out. Looks like he might have an attempt at a Peterson, and he does. He hits Mackey in a Peterson roll. Mackey's giving up back point, and he gets pinned in a Peterson roll. Mackey was fighting out of it and just didn't realize he was on his back. Pinned with 19 seconds left in the. So Mackey will be falling back into the fifth and sixth place round and wrestling to see if he can.
Marcelino Baptista